I've been toying with the switches all day. It won't turn on.
There's your problem, Glendale. I told you to leave the switches alone. There's only one, and it's the on switch. You flick it up when you need it to work, and you flick it down when you don't.
But
I'm sorry, do you want to take it to someone who needs you to pop the hood on your washer every 10 days? Or do you want to leave it to someone who will make sure you can focus on your work? Claire crossed her arms when the werewolf bared his teeth, a row of sharp ones ready to rip her throat out. She didn't mind. Glendale knew better. Years ago, his cousin was the first to get a taste of her particle gun. He probably didn't remember that, or if he did, he didn't care. Wares didn't hold long grudges. They didn't have the time or energy to spend on them. Either they took their rage out on it, or it became water under the bridge. Usually the former. Wares liked to resolve differences with fighting, but she'd already done that with these bastards. If they kept causing problems, they'd end up picking a fight with her whole pack, which would be a problem for them because they didn't have anywhere else to go. Plenty of decent mechanics worked in the city, but most didn't want anything to do with people who pissed Curtis's pack off. Glendale stared her down, trying to intimidate her. It wouldn't go any farther than that. If it did, she was prepared to defend her shop. She had a real shop with a storefront and everything on one of the higher-end streets of New Houston. She'd never imagined it would come to that. After everything that happened in the Sky City, she didn't think she would survive, much less get a thriving business off the ground. Her parents had suggested that she refrain from a shopping spree with the fee the council paid her. She ignored the advice, but her spree was tempered. A true store, plus improving her pack's enclave. The repairs she'd been putting off because she didn't have the parts were suddenly reassembled. Their houses were built better, her home functioned again. Not the entire building, since she didn't use all of it. She could get used to living with creature comforts. All that had barely chipped the surface of her fee. She left the rest with her parents to manage and invest. She didn't need that much money on hand. It would make her a target on the ground, but barely provide a living in one of the Sky Cities. Better to make the best of both worlds. That won't work. She growled at Glendale and handed him the remote again. I've survived much worse than you, Glenn.
It's Glendale.
Whatever you say, Glenn. The point is that your washer works. All you have to do is flip the switch on and off, change the soap when you get the indicator. If you want more control over your system, get your hands on an older device that won't do the job as well. Until then, we're done here. You're not getting your money back. He huffed and scowled at the other two wares in the store with him. If they wanted to engage in violence, she would have seen signs of it already. They blustered because it was their only bartering strategy. When it failed them, they would walk away. Curtis seemed to feel the same way since he sat in the corner working on the tech she'd given him.